People make mistakes. That's something we all know. But when you're a captain of an entire ship, the smallest of mistakes can sometimes escalate and cause huge catastrophes with millions of dollars being spent in damages. Today, we have for you a shocking list of 15 of the biggest ship collisions and mistakes that were caught on camera. Let's get started. Number 15. Cargo ship Sea Grand. The first accident on our list takes place on February 28, 2019. In this case, the one responsible for the catastrophe was the captain himself. He had been drinking a little too much as he directed the Russian cargo ship Sea Grand towards the Gangdong located in Busan, South Korea. The ship ended up colliding quite hard with the bridge, and the entire traffic moving on the bridge had to come to a standstill. Of course, a collision as massive as this led to pretty heavy damages to the ship as well as to the bridge. Number 14. Patrol boats of Japan. Taking place on August 15, 2012, the boat in this incident was a fishing boat from Hong Kong that had on board 15 Chinese activists inadvertently arriving in a disputed region. Of course, this led to 2 Japanese Coast Guard patrols chasing the boat, trying to catch them so arrests could be made. Naturally, it didn't take the patrol boats long to capture the fishermen, and they proceeded to block it from each side. We can only imagine what the poor fishermen could have been thinking at that moment. It's not every day that you're chased by patrol guards out at sea. Number 13. MSC Opera. Have you ever seen a huge cruise ship crash into a boat that is less than half its size? Well, now you can watch the bigger cruise ship called the MSC Opera crush the smaller boat as if it is nothing more than a mere toy. The 2019 incident took place in Venice, Italy, when the cruise ship that was so big that it comprised 13 decks ended up losing control of its engine, which led it to crash into a dock as well as a smaller boat. As if the footage of the crash itself wasn't terrifying enough, watching people nearby the ship screaming and running in panic will send shivers down your spine. Number 12. The Vista Spirit. The next on our list is a marine incident that took place in 2018, which ended up being recorded by some people that were on a smaller boat near the Vista Spirit. These people witnessed a 740-foot tanker smash into a historic waterfront mansion, making for a sight to remember for a lifetime as people all around could be heard screaming. The building Vista Spirit crashed into happened to be an 18th century million-dollar mansion, which was completely crushed by the ship. Although there was one point when people thought that the ship had stopped and that there wasn't as much damage, they were quickly proven wrong as the ship continued to crush the mansion, not stopping until everything about it had been destroyed. Number 11. Tolene SG-25. Some ships are so big that they can crush smaller boats and still carry on their journey like nothing happened. That's what happened when the Tolene bulk carrier ships hit a smaller Turkish boat with so much force that the smaller boat disappeared after spinning in the water. Since it was just the bow of the Tolene ship that had hit the small boat, the carrier ship didn't feel a thing, while the small boat was upside down in the water within a matter of seconds. Number 10. The Stellar Banner. On February 24, 2020, a huge tanker named Stellar Banner ran aground and went into a prominent starboard tilt position with no way of turning the ship around and flipping it. Although the crew members were taken to safety thanks to the lifeboats and other ships that were nearby, the 3,500 tons of fuel oil and 27,500 tons of iron ore cargo could not be saved, despite various attempts. In the end, all they could do was let the ship sink, since there was nothing that could have been done at this point. Number 9. The CSL Virginia Ulysses. This marine accident took place October 7, 2019, when a CSL Virginia ship was hit hard by a Ulysses. And that's not the most terrifying part of it at all. The ship had a huge hole punched into the side of the container while it was on the water. This was bad since the tanker happened to be full of thick crude oil that it was transporting. The hole resulted in the entire viscous crude oil falling out into the water, which was then washed up as solid waste on the beaches of Corsica. Number 8. Yogi. The $39 million mega yacht named Yogi was drowning in the water while being tilted sideways. Footage of the incident was recorded by people on a helicopter who arrived on scene to rescue the crew out of the sinking yacht. Although they were successful in saving the crew, the weather conditions turned out to be quite a hindrance to the rescue mission. Alas, the million-dollar ship ended up sinking since one of its engines had stopped working after being overheated, and there wasn't much that could be done after that. Number 7. Bulk carrier and cargo ship. A video footage of a marine accident in 2013 showed a large 58,000-ton heavy ship dangerously close to the tail of the smaller cargo ship. Of course, the crash of the two was inevitable. The horns of the bulk carrier kept on blaring loudly as it collided straight into the cargo ship. However, thankfully, no one seemed to be injured in this incident, otherwise repercussions could have been too deadly to recover from. Number 6. Carnival Glory and Carnival Legend. The next accident took place in the port of Cozumel in Mexico, where two ships collided with each other with full force, leading to quite a frightening experience for the people on board. Carnival Glory was in all of its glory, pun intended, and didn't seem to notice the Carnival Legend coming straight for it, hitting it with its bow, leading to quite a big gaping hole in the Glory ship. However, this accident could not be blamed on a drunk captain or poor choices, but instead it was the work of extremely bad weather and high winds on the sea at the time. Number 5. Ship Excellent. One of the most frightening ones on our list, this incident had a big cargo ship named Excellent hit a cargo loading barge. Since this collision was caught on camera, the crew that was working the huge cargo loading barge could be seen running for their lives. And that's when something even worse happened. A huge crane fell into the barge and started a fire, resulting in total chaos. It was said that the terrible accident was a result of harsh weather and a sea storm. And although the name of the ship was excellent, there was nothing excellent about the way the crew handled the bad weather. Number 4. Cargo ship collision. This marine accident could have been prevented, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. A cargo ship was passing by another ship with just enough distance for the crew to be sure that it would be able to squeeze through without a problem. However, fate had different plans for these cargo ships. The cargo ship hit the other so hard that it collided right into its lifeboats. The lifeboats then started falling into the water one by one. Thankfully, no one was hurt by the unlikely accident. Number 3. The Hansa Constitution. Not all marine accidents actually happen out on sea. Some ships have even completed their journey successfully only to come into contact with the ground and wreak havoc there. That's what happened in April of 2014 when a huge cargo ship was seen heading towards a giant football field. The football field, which was inside a university in Hong Kong, was hit just by the side as rust could be seen coming off the huge ship. The accident was a result of loss of power and bad weather in Hong Kong at the time. Number 2. The MOL Comfort. In July 2013, the MOL Comfort was loaded with 4,382 full-sized containers, along with more than 7,000 small-sized containers to be transported from Singapore to Saudi Arabia. However, during the journey, the ship could not bear the weight of all these containers and started to break from the middle into two parts. Fortunately, the crew was rescued from the ship and no one got hurt. However, the ship broke down into two pieces, caught fire, and then finally sunk. And at number 1, the One Apus. Every cargo sink is not always due to the heavy weight, and this is something we learned from what happened with the cargo ship One Apus, getting caught in a bad Pacific storm. One Apus was carrying 14,000 containers that were 20 foot tall. In footage of the accident, these containers can be seen falling from the cargo ship into the ocean, creating one big, dangerous mess. Around 1,800 of these containers were filled with electronics, batteries, and liquid ethanol that ended up being lost at sea, resulting in a loss of $200 million.